Okay, so if we look at composite functions, here f is defined as the function that is the composite of h and g. I would call this h after g. Okay, so every time there's like that little circle in the middle, we're going to call that after. Okay, so it is not like a dot at the bottom. It is not like a dot at the top like degrees. Okay, it's right in the middle. So that means that I am going to apply the function h after I apply the function g. So this is how we're defining f. So we're going to be asked for a few values for the function f with different inputs. So for example, if I had the input or the function f with an input of 0, that means that first I have to get the function g with an input of 0, and then onto my answer for that I need to apply the function h onto 0. So there are two ways that I can do this, and I'm going to just do it the kind of simpler way first, so that we really understand what they're asking. And then we're going to see that there is a different way of kind of speeding up the process, because I'm not just asked for h of 0, I'm also asked, or sorry, f of 0, I'm also asked for f of 3, f of 4. So when I'm asked for a load of these different functions, it'd be much easier if I could simplify how I can define the function f as a function in itself. But let's just start by looking at if they had just asked us just for this one. Okay, so we know that f of an input x is equal to h applied on whatever g of x is. Okay, so I am going to do that exact thing now. Okay, I'm going to see, okay, how am I going to use this function h with an input of g of 0 now in this case. Okay, so 0 is what x is. So first let's just have a look at what g of 0 is. So g of 0 is going to be 0 squared plus 1. Okay, so I am using up here what g of x is. So we're inputting 0 into this function and we are getting that it is 1. Okay, so what I am actually finding when I'm finding f of 0 is h applied on an input of 1. So it means that I am finding h now of 1. Okay, so whatever my output of g with an input of 0 is, so in this case it's 1, that is what I'm going to now use as my input for h. Okay, so it was my output for the last one, and then we're kind of working backwards through the letters. So now it is my input for h. So that means that it is, well, my function h was 2x plus 4. So it is 2 times 1 plus 4. So it is 2 plus 4, which is 6. Now, that is kind of a long process if I have to go through that for every number that I have as an input for f. So another way we could do it is, before we start going and individually putting every number first into g, and then after going on to h with that output, we could also come up with f as a function in itself. So how I would do that, okay, well, we said h is 2x plus 4. So we are now going to have, let's say, h of the function g of x. So g of x is x squared plus 1. Okay, so just like I would have done before, this is now what I am going to replace x with from the function h. So I am going to have 2 times x squared plus 1 plus 4. Okay, so my function h with an input of x squared plus 1. Okay, so if I was to do it out this way, I would get 2x squared. So this is what f of x is equal to. Okay, so 2x squared plus 2 plus 4, which is 2x squared plus 6. Okay, so that is what f of x is equal to. So if I'm going to be asked for a load of different inputs, values, then it might be kind of quicker for me to just do it like this. Okay, so then I can just jump straight to what I was given, which is f of, and I'll just use a new colour, so f of 0, which is 2 times 0 squared, which we know is all going to just cancel to 0, plus 6. So 2 times 0 squared is 2 times 0, which is 0. So my final answer there is 6. Okay, so this, if I was just asked for one input, this process might be a little bit quicker. And it kind of, you can kind of see the understanding of it. Okay, I'm applying the function h to 0. Well, actually, I'm applying the function h after I apply the function g to 0. So I'm applying it after I get an answer for function g on 0. Whereas over here, what I've done is I've first defined f as h after g of x. So whatever g of x is going to give me as an output, I then have to apply h to that. So I'm applying h to the function g, and I got one simple function for that. And then I can start inputting everything. So this will save me a lot of time when I am then asked for things like f of 3 and f of 4 and f of 6. Okay, instead of having to put every single one of these first into g and then the answer into h, I can now just go straight to saying, okay, well, that is 2 times 3 squared plus 6. So that is 24. Okay, here 2 times 4 squared plus 6. So that is 38. Okay, and I'm just gonna be able to fly through these much quicker because I now have this function in f that I can apply. Okay, so there is two ways to think about this, but they are both going to give you the exact same answer every time. Okay, so a function f is called an even function. Okay, let's stop this one and I'll do that in a new video.